Welcome back once again to howtocookgreatfood.com. If you have not already, it would be great if you could click that button and subscribe to our channel. On the menu today, and as you can see right here, just finished this. We're making a Mediterranean / Greek beef stew. Basically, it's a lovely slow cooked chunky beef stew. I've got some chickpeas in there, carrots, potatoes, onions, some olives, loads of garlic, with a kind of tomato base. It's going to take a little while to cook, but it's actually quite simple. It's really worth it. Let's go and do it. Okay, let's get started. A nice kind of decent sized pot, and I've got a little bit of olive oil in there. I'm starting this off with olive oil. Now this is a real slow cooker, as I said earlier. What we're going to do is we're going to start off by putting in our chunky cut beef parts. There's some bone in there. As you can see, a nice bit of fat. That's quite good. You don't want it too lean. So in they go. Now I've got this on a kind of lowish heat. To that we're going to add some black pepper. Plenty of that. We'll get some salt in there. I've got some bay leaf and some dried thyme. And at this stage I'm going to add some garlic, and you can see that garlic I've got there. I've got like a whole head of garlic. I've peeled it, and they're going to go in whole like that. So let's cook this. I'm going to turn the heat up now. Let's cook this for about 5 or 6 minutes so we can seal that meat and get it started. We're a long way off getting this finished though. This is a real slow cooker. It's going to take a while, but it's going to be worth it. I'll be back in about 5. There you go. That's like 5 minutes. So this meat, as you can see, has changed colour. Absolutely red raw inside. We're nowhere near done. What we've just done is just brown the outside and get some of those flavours happening. What I'm going to do now is I've got some green olives here. You could use black if you wanted. I'm going to get them in now as well. They're going to release a bit of flavour. And now I'm going to add some water. Decent mug or cup of water, you know. So I've got, I don't know, centimetre or so of water in there. Now on a high heat still, we're going to bring that to a boil, and then we're going to simmer that for about 20-25 minutes, depending on how chunky your beef cuts are. But that's what I'm going to do. So bring to the boil, then turn it down a little bit and let it go for like kind of, 20-25 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. That's going to help tenderise this meat. We certainly do not want to be putting any of our other ingredients in, our potatoes, carrots, onions, chickpeas and tomatoes, until we know that beef is well on its way. I'll be back in about 25. Okay, let's jump inside and take a look. A bit of steam out there for you guys. So you can see our water's reduced down a little bit, and our beef, although it's not cooked, is certainly on its way. Got some amazing flavours going on in there. Now I'm going to drop in some onions. I've got some red onion I'm using today, which I'm just going to drop in sliced. And again, on a kind of medium heat, I'm going to pop this lid back on, and I'm going to let that go for about 5 or 6 minutes. See you there. Okay, back again. Let's take a look. Oh wow, that's looking great. Our liquid's pretty much gone now, as you can see. And it's kind of starting to fry. Really wonderful. So at this point, I'm going to start to add some vegetables and that in the order that they cook. So I've got a few carrots here, I'm going to pop them in. And I've also got some chickpeas. These are already cooked, I'm using a canned one actually. And like I always say, if you're going to use a canned product, make sure you give it a nice clean, wash with some lovely clean cold water. And again, let's throw these around in the pan and let them cook again for about another 3 or 4 minutes. Now you've got to keep your eye on it now because our moisture's gone, so you need to give it a stir every now and then. I'll be back in 3 or 4. Okay, we're back again. Right, I'm loving this. Fantastic. At this stage I've got some, as you can see there, some fresh tomatoes, which I've chopped and get them in. We want them to really break down and become part of the sauce. I'm now going to add some water. Turn the heat up to a maximum now. So you can see, I've got a couple of centimetres of water in there. If you want, you can use a stock. I don't really like using stock unless it's really fresh, and I don't have any homemade stock right now. But I certainly don't like using stock cubes and stuff like that. The water's absolutely fine. If you want to use stock, go for it. Now to this I'm going to add some tomato puree or paste. And a big old helping like that. In that goes. Give that a little stir. And as the water heats up, that will mix in really well. So lid back on, guys. Heat's on maximum right now. I'm going to get this to a boiling point. Then we're going to simmer it. This time for 5 or 6 minutes. Then I'll be back. We're not that far off really now. See you then. Right, here we go. Look at that, it's wonderful. It's taking on that lovely deep colour now. And it's surprisingly thick. It's not just loads of water in there, it has kind of thickened up a little bit. That's our fresh tomatoes, those onions and what have you in there, which is really getting that together now. Okay, now the last thing, depending on what you're going to put in, you can put some zucchini in now, some eggplant, whatever you like, some shrooms, anything. Today I'm just going to use some potatoes, and then the last thing that I'm going to put in. And here they go. So they're kind of chunky cut. Now what I want to do is I want to now cook this pot until those potatoes are ready. So we're going to be, it's going to be 15 minutes now on a kind of low heat. For me, that beef, I know the type of beef that I've used, the cut of beef and the quality of it and the size obviously, so I know that's going to be right. But with a lot of these stews, you can kind of just let that go for hours and hours really. And it'll just get more tender and tender. But for me, about another 15-20 minutes say, those potatoes will be tender. And I know that's going to be ready. I'll see you then. All I'm going to do at that point is add a little bit maybe of salt and pepper if it needs it. And it's done. If you wanted, you could add some some fresh parsley or some mint or something like that to give it that kind of Mediterranean kind of vibe about it. For me, that's going to be great. I'll be back in about 15. Okay, the final stage. I'm off with the heat. That is looking absolutely fabulous. I've already checked that for salt and pepper. I added a little touch more salt only. And that is really beautiful. Like I say, you can cook that for ages and ages. Your vegetables are going to start to break down eventually. That meat's nice and tender. Add some other vegetables if you like, maybe a splash of wine even, maybe a bit of red wine if you're that way inclined. I'm loving that. Hope you enjoy that. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you again soon. Lots of love. Bye bye.